Okay, I wanted to briefly go over a few options that I want to just kind of throw at the project team to get an idea of what our preference is. And the last time I cut one of these videos, one of the things that we looked at was really taking these fence diagrams and essentially showing them in three-dimensionally. We wanted to figure out if maybe there was a way to go ahead and add our anticipated cells, implementation cells that we're still waiting on. I needed to move forward as a proof of concept to see if we could also project implementation cells into the same 3D modeling space and see what a potential product would look like for that. So I'm going to start with a hypothetical scenario here. Here's the transect C to C prime, and we have two implementation cells. These things are actually in two separate feature classes. This temp cells 4 and the other one here is temp cells. It's just called temp cells actually. I'll go ahead and stack these like this. Okay, so they're actually two separate feature classes. They have to be modeled. They have to be delineated separately for reasons you'll see shortly. Another added complication here that I wanted to anticipate, and one that was sort of alluded to, was the possibility that some of these cells may overlap. So without getting into the how we did this, I just want to show you kind of what this could look like. So here's sort of the same view. Okay, we're looking down on our model. All right, same cells. Okay, and so what I want to do here is kind of show you what this could look like. So in our three-dimensional world, you can see that what we've done is we've modeled where these things are, and I'm going to explain away this gray right here in a second, but just bear with me. We've modeled three-dimensionally these things and where they actually intersect our planar fence here, and we can see that they overlap. They actually intersect each other as well as intersecting the plane. Showing this really becomes a trick of you know, how do we set the transparency here? How dark is too dark to where we actually lose the stratigraphy that we're trying to show, in addition to everything else going on in this figure. So you know, how far do we call this back to make this presentable? And do we like the 3D option right here? Okay, so the separation right here, if we do choose a 3D layer for this, I can go ahead and I can do away with that. I just had to use the data I had available to me. It's easy to construct something that will sort of not show this separation here. I also want to point something else out here. Because of the way I've modeled this, you know, we can, let's say that we come back and we're like, oh, well, we want to change the subsetting level for how deep this thing is. You can change. I can change this. I mean, this parameter is pretty dynamic with the subsetting level. So you can see here, I can, if we decide, oh, well, actually, we want to go, we need to redo the figure. We need to redo this thing, and it's got to be at negative 9 feet. I can just set that as such and then re-export the thing. Or let's say, oh, well, you know, we wanted it at 3 feet. Well, then it's just a setting and it cuts it up. So that's kind of a nice feature about doing it like this as well. Okay, so the other option that I really wanted to show here is that instead of doing this three-dimensionally, we can also do this sort of on projected essentially on the two-dimensional cutting plane, or the three-dimensional cutting plane. So what I'm about to show is it's the same data that's being used, but instead of showing all of the area that overlaps on either side of the fence diagram, we're just constricting what we're showing to only that area that intersects the cutting plane. And so when we do that, you essentially get this. So again, it's the same data as it was before. It's just that now we've restricted it to only the data that's spatially coincident with the intersection right here. You can see that it's only that intersection that's overlaying that plane. And the same subsetting features that I showed earlier can be done with this one too. So there's no we still have the same functionality, I think. Yeah, so there's that. So we're still able to subset that data however we want. We can talk about this and see what is working or doesn't work for the project team, and how we want to go about developing this, if at all. Okay, thanks.